What's up, kinfolk? Good.
What's up, kinfolk? Child abduction has been going on for years. How many of y'all remember back when it had got so bad that they were putting faces on the back of milk cartons? Now, what I'm about to say to you is going to require you to think unbiasedly and with critical thought. If crime is predicated on opportunity, then could it be that we have been overlooking police as major suspects in child abduction cases? We have seen in countless amount of times, whereas cops seem to be born again child predators. And when you think about it, they got both the opportunity and the authority to take people away against their own will. I give you this example. If you were to be riding down the street and somebody like myself got out of a car and ran and grabbed a kid, and that kid was kicking and struggling, 9 times out of 10, you would probably stop the car and try to figure out what's going on. But at the same time, if you was riding down the street and you saw a cop picking up a kid, most folks are just gonna go on by their business, because they first thing is they thinking is that maybe the kid did something to get arrested. You see what I'm saying? So here's a series of clips that I want to show y'all. And y'all will see how I am coming up with these conclusions or these beliefs that cops are the major suspects. Check this out.
Let's turn now to new video this morning showing the moment former Houston Police Captain Darren Edwards was taken into federal custody. On Friday, the FBI led Edwards out of the Galveston County Courthouse in cuffs while he was in court for a separate hearing. Edwards was allowed to retire from the force in March, but earlier this month he was indicted by a federal grand jury. The charges include coercion and enticement of a minor, and also possessing and making child pornography. Edwards was first arrested by League City Police in February, where he was charged with sexual exploitation of children and child pornography.
Now, I want y'all to understand that cop, that guy, was a captain. He had rank, and rank has privileges. Now, them folks out there at Epstein Island consider themselves to have privileges too. Check this out, y'all. The report that I read said that this guy had raped a girl over 100 times. And it started when she was 9 years old. But that's all right, y'all, because the FBI is knocking these jokers upside the head and making their knees buckle. You hear me? Check out what happened during this sting operation by the FBI.
An FBI sting operation ends here in a public park in Covington, with a Slidell police officer being taken down and the Slidell police chief fired up.
I am beyond pissed off right now.
Federal agents arrest Slidell Corrections Officer Nicholas Ngolia in the Bogafalaya Park Tuesday on federal charges. Those include the transfer of obscene material to a minor, coercion, and enticement of a minor. The chief in Slidell says Officer Ngolia is accused of sending obscene messages to someone he thought was a 15-year-old girl.
Mr. Ngolia then decided that he was going to travel to a park in Covington and meet this 15-year-old girl. Little did he know that the person behind the messaging was really an undercover FBI agent who was proactively working to lure in predators like Mr. Ngolia.
Yo, see, this right here reminds me of that show that used to come on a while back, whereas they track these folks that be online with these young girls and young boys, and then they arrange to meet these young boys, and when they get to the house somewhere, somebody come out back with the camera and the police be outside waiting on them. See, we got you. But here's the thing. This guy was a police officer, and his base job was inside of the jail. He's a full-blown child predator. So how is it that you can honestly look an inmate in the eye when you know that you're doing the same thing that inmate is locked up for? I mean, hell, y'all should have traded places.
New today at 5, shocking allegations against a former Monticello police officer. He's now charged with dozens of counts of child pornography possession. Investigators say Bollinger's girlfriend found files of child sex abuse on his computer. The sheriff's office arrested him yesterday. They say he was caught while trying to leave the county, luggage in tow. Monticello police say they then filed Keegan Bollinger Monday after the investigation began. He'd only been on the job for a matter of months.
We hear about incompetent people in positions of authority all the time. But this guy looks like what booty must smell like. Who in the hell would get this guy a job? This don't even look like the type of person that you should give a job to being an authority over people, especially children. But y'all, this child predator stuff going on with these cops even reaches the highest positions of policing in the land. I'm talking about the Secret Service. Y'all check this one out.
A spokesperson confirmed the 28-year-old facing several charges, including 6 felony counts of possessing child sexual abuse materials, is Tristan Hale, a Secret Service police officer.
At the end of the day, y'all, we've got to invoke critical thought, especially when it comes to our children. Have any of y'all noticed or been thinking like I'm thinking? Out of all the things that they asked these children that they have found on that Epstein Island, why haven't they not asked any of those children how they got there or who took them there?
A show of hands here. If you or somebody you love was abused or trafficked by Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell. All of you. So given that, you are here together, the 9 of you in this room, in this, what feels like a show of solidarity. Why? Why did you decide to come here today? Jess?
I'm coming here because there's been a severe miscarriage of justice, a delay in accountability.
It's good that they can come together in solidarity, that they can show support for one another. These people have been wrong, and everybody must admit there has been a miscarriage of justice. But y'all, prevention is the key here. That should be the ultimate goal. Because what is to stop Jeffrey Epstein Island number 2 from just popping up out the woodwork? You see, we need to go after the procurers of these children.
How many more of us do we have to lose?
Why do you want to see more of these documents released publicly?
Accountability, right? I think all this time, we've forgotten how large of a scale this really is. What Virginia did, what these women did, it's unprecedented. This was a global operation. It takes multiple people to make this happen over a span of decades. Those people deserve to be accountable too. Okay? And they have that information. They have that information. They have the power to do the right thing.
Now, see, this lady is telling the truth. Accountability, y'all. People need to be held accountable. I don't care if it's the president of the United States of America or the shoemaker down there at the local shoe store. If you were involved with taking these kids out there on that island, or if you went out there on that island, you need to be held accountable.
Are you all satisfied, and then I'll do a couple more show of hands, but are you all satisfied generally with the level of communication that you've had or that your representatives have had from members of Congress? Do you feel like your voices have been heard from members of Congress?
No.
Jess, you're giving me a face. You're saying no way.
My eyebrows don't lie. No, I've heard zero communication. I mean, I don't know about it. I've heard nothing from any representatives personally. I have not.
So can I get a show of hands? Who here is satisfied with the level of contact they've had from Congress? Nobody. Let me ask this. How about the Justice Department? I want to ask a couple of things about what you knew about things that were happening with this case that you're obviously involved with. Show of hands. Did any of you hear from the Justice Department before they released that memo, that 2-page memo earlier this summer?
You see, to these media outlets, it's all about Democrat and Republican. They're trying to politicize something that requires prevention. We could care less about, and I'm sure that those survivors could care less about Republican, Democrat. Now, the Department of Justice may be a totally different thing. However, I'm sure that they will think to themselves that, hey, if it happened to me, it can happen to the next person. So why aren't they asking the real questions?
No hands. Were any of you told that Todd Blanche would be speaking with Ghislaine Maxwell prior to that interview over the course of 2 days?
No.
No. Were any of you told about the prison transfer that Ghislaine Maxwell?
No.
Do any of you feel that the DOJ has communicated with you enough this year?
No.
Have any of you had any communication with the DOJ?
No.
Nobody in this room has heard at all from the Department of Justice?
No.
In my opinion, I think it might be because some of them may say that I thought I was being arrested for doing something wrong. The cops arrested me, and I wind up on that island. See, it wouldn't surprise me. And based on the things that you have saw thus far, it really shouldn't surprise you. Y'all, we need to spread the word about child predators, especially those that among us and poses themselves as friends. Y'all travel on and travel well.